The war on Lithera Prime had ended years ago, but the scars it left on both the planet and its people were still visible. Ruined cities lay under gray skies, metal structures twisted and broken, and the ground still bore the marks of battle. Among the survivors there were stories of heroism and bravery, some celebrated, others quietly remembered by those who lived through the chaos. One story, however, was about to resurface, an encounter that would change two lives forever. Kailira, now a grown woman and a respected warrior in her society, stood on the balcony of the Galactic Union Embassy, staring at the massive starships docking in the orbiting station. Her violet skin reflected the light of the twin suns, and her amber eyes were calm, yet filled with a quiet curiosity. She had trained for years, mastering diplomacy, strategy, and combat, all to prepare herself for this moment. Today, representatives from Earth would arrive, including a human soldier whose memory had never left her, Marcus Kane, the man who had saved her life when she was just a small girl trapped under rubble during the war. Kailira remembered that day as if it were yesterday. She had been no more than 8 cycles old, wandering the streets with her family when the battle came. Explosions had shaken the ground, and smoke and fire had turned the sky into a burning canvas. Her parents had been caught in the crossfire, and she had run, only to stumble and fall beneath the debris of a collapsing building. She remembered the fear, the pain, and the loneliness as she called out, no one near enough to hear her cries. Then, a figure had appeared, moving with calm determination through the chaos. The human soldier had shielded her from falling beams, lifted the heavy debris, and carried her to safety. Kailira had not understood his words, but his actions had spoken louder than any language could. In that moment, she had felt a strange warmth and a sense of protection she had never known. She had never forgotten that human soldier, and as the years passed, the memory grew into a quiet inspiration, guiding her choices and shaping her path. Marcus Kane, meanwhile, had returned to Earth after the war. He had been celebrated briefly for his bravery, but like many soldiers, the world moved on while he carried the memories. The image of the small alien girl, trapped and terrified, had haunted him for years. He had never known what became of her, and a part of him always wondered if she had survived. Life on Earth was quieter, but the emptiness of leaving Lithera Prime and the countless lives he could not save lingered in his mind. Now, the Galactic Union had sent invitations to Earth's representatives for a peace conference. Marcus, as one of Earth's strategic advisors, had been chosen to attend. He did not know that Kailira would be there, nor did he anticipate the reunion that was about to occur. The day of arrival came, and Kailira watched from the embassy's balcony as the human delegation disembarked from their sleek starship. Marcus stepped forward first, his posture straight, his dark uniform crisp, and his eyes scanning the surroundings with careful calculation. Kailira's heart skipped a beat when she saw him. Time had changed him, of course. He was older, more seasoned, but the essence of that soldier who had saved her life remained. She forced herself to stay calm, reminding herself that this meeting was not just personal, it was professional. Marcus moved with quiet authority, shaking hands and exchanging formal greetings. Kailira approached the reception, keeping a careful distance. She observed him from afar, noting his deliberate movements, the way he carried himself with both confidence and caution. Her memories of the rescue played in her mind, and she realized that she had to know if he would recognize her. During a brief pause in the conference, Kailira saw him stepping out to a terrace overlooking the station. The twin suns of Lithera Prime cast a golden glow over his figure. She followed, her heart pounding as she prepared to reveal herself. When she reached the terrace, Marcus was gazing at the horizon, seemingly lost in thought. "Excuse me, sir," she said softly, trying to keep her voice steady. Marcus turned, and for a moment his eyes met hers. There was a flicker of curiosity, but nothing more. Kailira swallowed and took a small step closer. "My name is Kailira," she said. "I am part of the Galactic Union delegation." Marcus nodded, his expression professional but polite. "Welcome, Kailira. I hope your journey here was comfortable." She hesitated for a moment, then decided to take the risk. I believe we have met before. Years ago, during the war on Lithera Prime." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "I'm not sure I follow." Kailira took a deep breath and spoke, her voice steady despite the emotions rising inside her. "You saved my life. When I was a child trapped under rubble, you carried me to safety." For a moment, Marcus froze. His eyes widened slightly as he studied her face. The memory of a small, terrified alien girl surfaced. the details of that rescue coming back with vivid clarity. "It can't be," he murmured. Kalira nodded. "It is me. I survived because of you." Marcus stepped closer, his gaze intense. I thought you might not have made it. I never knew." He looked down as if the weight of the years had suddenly pressed on him. "I can't believe. You're here, alive and strong." Kalira smiled faintly. "I owe my life to you. That single act of bravery shaped everything I became." The air between them seemed to hold a quiet electricity, the years of separation evaporating in an instant. They talked for hours, first cautiously, then more freely. Kalira shared fragments of her life, how she had trained, learned, and grown into the warrior and diplomat she was now. Marcus listened, astonished and humbled, realizing the profound impact a single choice had made in the galaxy. As they spoke, the conference continued in the background, but neither noticed. They were drawn into the gravity of this reunion, the shared memory binding them in ways neither fully understood yet. Laughter came, then moments of silence, then reflection on the cost of war and the power of courage. Marcus spoke of his missions, the people he had saved and those he had not. Kalira shared insights into her people's struggles, their victories and their losses. During a quiet moment, Kalira asked, "Do you remember the moment? The rubble, the smoke?" Marcus nodded, closing his eyes. "I do. You were so small, so frightened, and I couldn't leave you behind. I didn't think of anything else. You gave me a chance to survive," Kalira said softly, "and because of you I did. I learned courage, hope, and the strength to fight for others. I could never forget." The bond between them grew deeper, no longer just the rescuer and the rescued, but two beings connected across time and space. Marcus felt a strange warmth, realizing that heroism wasn't only about action but about the impact one had on the lives of others. Kalira felt relief and gratitude, emotions she had kept hidden beneath years of training and responsibility. Yet their reunion was interrupted by urgent news. A faction from Kalira's world had sent a warning. Political tensions were rising and rogue elements threatened the peace conference. Both Kalira and Marcus understood that their meeting was not merely personal. It was intertwined with the larger fate of the galaxy. They needed to work together, to combine human strategy with alien insight, to prevent disaster. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the station in shades of gold and crimson, Kalira and Marcus stood together side by side. They had found each other again, and the connection of the past had become the foundation for the challenges ahead. Neither knew exactly what the future held, but both sensed that this reunion was only the beginning of something greater, something that could shape the destiny of worlds. For Kalira, it was a long-awaited closure, and a moment of recognition for the courage that had saved her life. For Marcus, it was a reminder that one act of bravery could ripple across time, touching lives in ways he had never imagined. Together, they prepared to face the unknown, united by memory, trust, and a bond that neither distance nor time could sever. The stars above the station twinkled, silent witnesses to their reunion, as both humans and aliens moved toward a future where courage, loyalty, and hope might prevail. And for the first time in years, Kalira and Marcus felt something that went beyond gratitude. It was the quiet spark of something enduring, born from the chaos of war and the promise of a shared destiny. The peace conference began under a tense atmosphere. Delegates from multiple worlds had gathered on Lithera Prime's orbital station, each with their own agendas, hopes, and fears. Kalira and Marcus walked side by side, exchanging quiet words and observing the room. Despite the formal surroundings, an undercurrent of unease rippled through the air. Reports had come in that a rogue faction from Kalira's homeworld was dissatisfied with the conference terms, and they were ready to act. Kalira felt a chill as she reviewed the intelligence. This group had been responsible for numerous attacks in the past, and their goal was simple: disrupt the negotiations and seize power. She glanced at Marcus, who had already noticed the tension among the delegates. Their eyes met, and in that silent moment both understood that they might face danger sooner than expected. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. Red lights flashed and the sound of emergency sirens filled the air. Delegates shouted in confusion as security personnel rushed past. Kalira's heart pounded, and she could see the same sharp focus in Marcus's eyes that she had remembered from years ago during the war. "Stay close to me," Marcus said firmly, "We need to reach the command center," Kalira nodded. She had trained for combat, diplomacy, and leadership, but the presence of Marcus beside her gave her a strange comfort. They moved quickly through the corridors, their steps synchronized, instinct and experience guiding them. Security doors automatically opened as they passed, and automated systems alerted personnel to the breach. When they reached the command center, chaos greeted them. Screens flashed with red warnings, and security officers barked orders to each other. Kalira immediately assessed the situation. A team of rogue attackers had infiltrated the station's outer perimeter, attempting to disable communications and control the docking bays. If successful, they could isolate Earth's delegation and create a hostage situation. Marcus quickly reviewed the tactical data. They're using the ventilation shafts and maintenance tunnels to move closer to the main assembly hall. We can't let them reach the delegates. Kalira nodded, formulating a plan. We'll split. I'll take the internal routes. Use my knowledge of the station to intercept them. You coordinate defense from the control center and cover my back. Marcus hesitated for a moment. It's risky. There could be more than we think. I've been trained for this, Kalira said calmly. We both have. Trust me. With that, she moved out, her movements precise and deliberate. Marcus monitored her progress from the command center, issuing orders to security teams and guiding them through corridors to block potential intruders. The station's AI systems provided updates in real time, but even the most advanced technology could not anticipate human and alien intuition working together. Kalira encountered the first wave of intruders in a narrow hallway. The attackers were armed with energy rifles and moving with lethal intent. Without hesitation, she engaged, her combat training turning her into a blur of motion. She dodged blaster fire, using her agility to maneuver past obstacles, while striking with calculated precision. One attacker lunged toward her, but Kalira sidestepped and disarmed him, rendering him unconscious. Meanwhile, Marcus coordinated the station's defenses. Automated turrets activated in key locations, slowing the rogue forces, while security teams blocked access to critical areas. Marcus's mind raced, remembering countless battle simulations. Yet the reality of protecting not just humans but alien delegates added an unfamiliar weight to his decisions. He thought of Kalira, hoping she remained safe, and a strange determination filled him. Kalira moved deeper into the station, encountering more attackers. She realized that these were not ordinary soldiers. They were desperate, ruthless, and willing to die for their cause. Yet she also noticed their lack of discipline, their overconfidence in numbers rather than skill. Using her knowledge of the station's layout, she set traps, used shadows for cover, and guided attackers into controlled areas where security teams could intercept them. At one point, an attacker aimed directly at her from above a maintenance shaft. Kalira froze for a split second, the weight of the moment pressing on her. Then remembered the small girl she once was, the one Marcus had saved. Channeling that memory, she leaped to the side, rolling to the ground, and fired a precise shot from her energy pistol. The attacker fell, stunned but alive. Back at the command center, Marcus monitored every movement. He could see Kalira's progress on the security feeds, and a surge of pride and relief washed over him. She's incredible, he muttered to himself. The girl I saved. She's a warrior now. Kalira continued to push forward, eventually reaching the assembly hall where several high-ranking delegates were gathered. The rogue faction had already breached the main doors and a firefight had begun. Kalira entered with swift precision, her presence immediately drawing attention. The attackers hesitated, giving her an advantage. She used her agility and training to disarm them, protect the delegates, and coordinate with Marcus via comlink. Marcus guided security teams to block retreat routes and secure exits. He and Kalira worked in tandem, a perfect combination of human strategy and alien intuition. Each movement was calculated, every decision critical. Kalira's heart raced, but she felt a strange calm knowing Marcus was watching her, trusting her. In the midst of the chaos, Kalira spotted an attacker aiming at Marcus through a surveillance window. Without hesitation, she moved to intercept, using the environment to her advantage. She launched herself toward the attacker, knocking him back and disabling his weapon. Marcus turned just in time to see her action, awe written across his face. The battle continued for what felt like hours, though in reality, it was only minutes. Kalira and Marcus coordinated perfectly, guiding security forces, protecting delegates, and neutralizing threats. The rogue faction was relentless, but neither human nor alien underestimated the determination of those defending life and peace. Finally, the last attacker fell, disarmed, and captured. The station's alarms returned to normal, and delegates slowly emerged from cover, shaken but safe. Kalira and Marcus took a moment to breathe, their bodies tense but uninjured. The room was silent except for the hum of the station systems and the distant chatter of security personnel securing the area. Kalira turned to Marcus, her amber eyes meeting his. "We did it," she said softly. Marcus nodded, a small smile breaking his usual stoic demeanor. "We did. Together." For a moment they simply looked at each other, the chaos of battle replaced by the quiet realization of what had just occurred. Both knew that this was more than a reunion. It was proof that courage, trust, and cooperation could bridge even the vastest divides between species. After the incident, the conference resumed under tighter security. Delegates, impressed by the swift and effective response, now listened more carefully, aware of the fragility of peace. Kalira and Marcus attended sessions together, offering guidance, strategy, and insight that only their combined experience could provide. Their bond deepened as they navigated delicate negotiations, blending human pragmatism with alien understanding. In private moments, Kalira and Marcus reflected on their reunion. Kalira admitted that she had always hoped to meet the human soldier who saved her, and Marcus revealed that he had never forgotten the small alien girl trapped under the rubble. Their shared experiences created an unspoken understanding, a connection that transcended words and cultural differences. As the conference concluded successfully, Kalira and Marcus stood on the observation deck gazing at the stars. The station orbited peacefully above Lithera Prime, the twin suns setting in brilliant hues of gold and crimson. Kalira felt a sense of closure and gratitude, realizing that the courage of one human soldier had not only saved her life, but had also inspired countless others. Marcus looked at her, admiration and respect in his eyes. "You've grown into someone remarkable," he said quietly. "I'm proud to have played even a small part in your life." Kalira smiled, a soft glow of warmth on her face. "And I'm grateful. Because of you, I learned what it means to fight, to survive, and to lead. You gave me a chance I'll never forget." They stood together in silence, the stars above them shining like witnesses to their story. The memory of the war, the chaos, and the fear had not been erased, but it had transformed into something greater, a testament to heroism, resilience, and the bonds that could form even across worlds. Their reunion had begun with memories of the past, but now it pointed toward the future. They had faced danger, protected countless lives, and proven that courage was not limited to one species or one moment in time. In the quiet after the storm, Kalira and Marcus realized that they were no longer just the rescuer and the rescued. They were allies, friends, and perhaps the beginning of something more enduring. The galaxy stretched out before them, full of challenges, mysteries, and possibilities, and for the first time in years both Kalira and Marcus felt ready to face it together, guided by the courage that had saved a young girl all those years ago, and the bond that had brought them together again.